are watching 32 teams in 32 days on the Game Time Sports Network.
It's a great day, sports world. Moving right along. We're the last team in the AFC North. So we moving right along in this thing. Mon, how you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing fair. I think that's the perfect word to explain, how I'm doing there. I'm doing fair. Could be better, will be better. But yet here we are, finishing the last team of the AFC North, the Cleveland Browns. The ones I'm very, very excited about.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday that you were very excited about it, and what an exciting offseason these guys had. Um, we got some quarterback battles to get into. Introducing a new head coach and Mr. Todd Monken here. Um, Former Georgia offensive coordinator, former Ravens offensive coordinator in previous years. What did you think of the hire, and did the Browns make the right decision in going with Todd?
This one came out of left field for
That's
us
the way I
hire.
feel too.
Yeah, it was like left field. Remember, I don't know if I talked to you or somebody else, but I was a big Todd Monken guy when he had Lamar for his MVP seasons. Maybe his first one, I believe, back in 2018, 2019, whichever one year he won MVP one. I was like, yo, he need to get a head coaching job at some point. But I don't know, just the hiring cycle just passed him by 2 or 3 times, and he got his opportunity with the Cleveland Browns. I don't think Stefanski did a bad job with the Bengals. I just think time has run its course there, um, especially with Deshaun Watson, which we'll talk about in a few seconds with that mega deal, all guaranteed, and he's not able to produce to the level that you want him to. So they went in another direction. They went and got a guy that's been around with the MVP, the coach the Georgia team for a couple national championships, and we all know who the quarterbacks were for those teams. So this is your one shot, Todd Monk. How you want to handle it. And right now, so far so good. It's been mixed reviews, mixed reports out of Cleveland camp. I think Mary Kay Cabot had put something out there, and Todd Monk went and said something else completely about who's the starter going into preseason week one. So it's been pretty interesting for him, and just like I said, this is his opportunity to show why he's one of 32. Is on 32 of these jobs in the world. So the opportunity is right in front of you.
And they just had a preseason game this past week, and
Well, we
you
could have played quarterback, boy.
yeah. So, and my question to you before we even touch on their stuff from last season, from last off season, who wins quarterback QB1? I know there's Dylan Gabriel in the mix as well, but when you think about starting quarterback job, it starts with these two, and some people lean toward well, most people lead towards Shador Sanders, including myself, because I would love Shador to win this job, but at the same token, you're paying Deshaun Watson what is it 46 million this season? It's something around that ballpark, and Jimmy Haslam, he's going to want to get the most out of that quarterback that he's paying the most. So I mean, I think I want to say you're leaning towards Shador as well to start, or Watson
I'm going Watson.
for
I'm
the.
going Watson for the preseason and regular season. Um, in the perfect world, you will want Shador to win the job because he's young. He's got a lot of football ahead of him. Not to say that Deshaun Watson don't, but there's more room for growth and for Shador than I think Watson. We've seen what Watson can be. Excuse me, but as the old adage say, Larry, what you gonna do? We're gonna follow the money. We like you said, we're not paying you $46 million to sit on the bench. If that's the case, what are you here for? What are we doing? So I think, in my heart, I want Deshaun Watson to win. I mean, the Shador to win the job, but we're gonna follow the money here. And if I'm an owner of this team, and me and you sitting up in the owner's chair, and we paying Deshaun Watson $46 million. We paying this young buck over here pennies on the dollar. We want to see our $46 million investment or our $300 million investment give on the field, whether that's win, lose, or draw. That's hey, that's up for whatever. But you want to see your mega investment to get on the field, and plus you gave up 3 first-round picks for him too. So that's 3 years of probably top 10, 3 years, top 10 picks worth of picks you gave up for him. So you want to, see him and yeah, I'm going Watson. I know you want to go Shador, but I think Watson ultimately wins QB1 job in my opinion.
No, I'm in agreement with you
Okay.
because those top 10 those picks from over those 3 years, those could have been premium picks. You know,
Premium.
and who knows when you could have got you a skill position player, could have got you a guy on defense, something that really shore up the team, that take the team to the next level as far as talent level. So I'm in agreement with you. I would want to see Watson as because you are paying him a lot of money and you did give up draft picks. So the business side of it is like, yeah, I need to see this. I need to see where my money is going. Granted, for the last couple of years, I mean, he's been hurt, and he hasn't been playing it as well. So it's like I mean, you wasted all this money this time. Why not waste some more? But I do want Shador to win his job because I feel like it's a certain aura about him. Um, he should have been taken a lot sooner than he was. What was it, fifth round? And I just feel like, of course, he's got mechanics to work on his game, but that's where you bring in Todd Monk in there, to help him improve his game. So I do want Shador to win this job. Last year, Shador was 3-4 as a starter. Like, started 7 games, 56.6 completion percentage, or 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. That, if I'm an owner, if I'm a GM, that doesn't warrant me for like, okay, I need you out here. But granted, he gets to start this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whenever they play. So he gets to showcase his talent to see if he can, at least warrant a starting job or not.
Yeah, one more thing before we move on. Folks have to remember they drafted Dylan Gabriel as well in the third round. So it, it's pressure anyway, but it's pressure when you have two rookies in the same room, and then if one thing doesn't go or you have a bad stretch of games, um, they're gonna yank you and they're gonna pull you. But it was vice versa this year. I mean, last year it was Dylan Gabriel got the starts, and then their crowd was like, "All right, let me see 12," and then Austin went to 12, and he played. He had some bright spots. It wasn't pretty for sure, but we'll talk about that quarterback room here in the near in a few minutes here. But I think it's a little too crowded. Somebody gonna have to go, and you'll be surprised who if you ask me who has to go.
And I didn't mean to leave Dylan out, but Dylan didn't really display. I mean, he showed some stuff last year, but he, also is in the same realm as Shador. He showed some stuff, but he also has some stuff to grow in his game with. And I remember you were saying maybe a month or so ago, that Kevin Stefanski could potentially, push a late round pick for him. And look at the quarterback situation you got over in Atlanta right now. So, going to the supporting cast, uh, the running back position, Quishon Juggins, 230 attempts, 827 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And then you got Dylan Sampson there as well, two high-profile running backs with some speed that can take it to the next level. I like this tandem here, and then you got other guys like Harold Fannin. You drafted KC Concepcion and a Denzel Boston. Is this about the most talented skill that they ever been in?
Oh, as a collection, as a collection, yes. I want to say this is probably the most talented skill position. I mean, skill side of the ball I've seen them had in some
Yeah,
years. Because I think they had Nick Chubb when he was right. Um, then they had Josh Gordon for that 1 year where he was just insane. But other than that, I can't really
one
think of
year.
any 1 year. Then we all know what happened. God bless that man. But I don't think I can recall. We probably Browns were back when Bernie Kosar. We was puppies then. We ain't know what we was watching. We was just watching something on TV. But me just thinking about it, I can't think of a better group of skill players that the Browns have ever had in their franchise. This probably is right up there, if not number one.
Yeah, as we said, um, Harold Fannin led the team with targets. Jerry Judy was right behind him. He had 72 catches, 731 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Now, David Njoku out the door, and now Harold Fannin is your tight end one. Jerry Judy, therefore, set his 7th year. You hope he's still there. Um, and
Judy
then,
been in the league for 7 years.
yeah,
Well, you know about
uh,
him.
yeah, and he just came off a 1,000 yard his first 1,000 yard season like a year before last. And then last year he had 602. But then you got other guys on the team, Cedric Tillman, other role players like that. The offensive line, let's jump to them real quick. And they drafted Spencer Fano. They did take Austin Barber in the later rounds as well. Titus Howard allowed 3 sacks. Tevin Jenkins, 4 starts, 2.5 sacks. Elgin Jenkins, 9 games and half a sack allowed. Zion Johnson, 7 sacks allowed. And then, of course, you see who they're replacing. Um, were you high on Fanu? I think you were high on Fanu coming out. But what do you think about this offensive line? Even like they revamped the whole offensive line. It's like this was not what it was last year.
Yeah, man. I think this is probably year one of the revamp of the offensive line because you lost three starters and you replaced your whole offensive line pretty much from right tackle all the way to left tackle. Everybody's new. I think this is a whole new starting unit
Mm-hmm.
on the offensive line. So that's gonna be interesting to see. I really like Fano coming out of Utah last year. I thought he probably would have been there for the Giants when they picked that. Well, I think when they picked 6, 7, I thought they would have took him there. But obviously, they had other plans, and this was the trade because, excuse me, you remember Kansas City swapped with Cleveland for Mansour Delane, so that I think that was perfect. I think the Browns needed a offensive lineman out of this draft in the first round, maybe even two. Remember we were talking about drafting two offensive linemen
Mm-hmm.
for these guys. Remember we talked about Monroe Freeland in the 20s for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's glad that they starting to address the offensive line, but to lose four starters and come in with four new, off free agents and a rookie, it's interesting to see, how this team gels. But yeah, you can tell this is the year one of building the offensive line from the organization in, and ultimately those guys that they signed going to end up weeding themselves out and bringing in their own draft picks at some point.
Definitely. Key additions, key departures. As you see the additions, Titus Howard that we spoke about, Elgin Jenkins, Quincy Williams, a big part of the defense. Jared Verse, who we'll get into more in a couple seconds. Tyler Wallace, the wide receiver, another skill guy over there. And then the key departures, Miles Garrett. You get that guy out of the building. And who knew that they were going to be, that he was going to be dealt? Who knew that? But evidently them and the Rams been talking over the course of the months and weeks and it just happened. But a lot of key departures there: Joe Patonio, Cam Robinson, Jerome Ford, all those guys right there. So as I always ask, what key departure will hurt? Well, of course I know where you probably will go as far as key departure, which will hurt the team the most, and what addition will help the team the most.
Um, the departure, I don't say it will hurt the Browns losing Miles Garrett because they get, this and this will tie in perfectly. So I can answer this question in one sentence. I don't think them losing Miles Garrett will hurt them. Because also you get back Jared Verse and you get multiple picks as well. I think you get back a second and a third. for the future. Maybe a first. I'm not really sure that the trade compensation, but I know you get a first, second, and a third that equal up to like three first rounders or two first rounders or whatever the price was. So I say key departure, of course, Miles Garrett, and I say key addition. I'll say the veterans on the offensive line, Jared Verse, and those picks that you get in the future from the Rams to continue to build this roster.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Miles on that one because it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to replace that. But then and on the same token, you get Jared Verse who going into his third year, so there's so much promise there.
Didn't they
Uh,
get a bag as well? Didn't they give him a big bag? Didn't he get
I
extended?
I want to say he did.
Okay.
Producer, go ahead and look that up.
All right.
Uh, yeah, I want to say he did, but I want to say Quincy Williams as well because I mean your boys over there, Carson Swessinger, but then you get Quincy Williams, a vet who's been in this league, made some plays and all that good stuff. You get him playing beside the reigning defensive rookie of the year. Um, and then you go to the draft picks here. At pick 9, Spencer Fano in a position that they really needed. KC Concepcion at pick 24 because they had 2 first-round picks. Pick 39, they swing right back around and get Denzel Boston. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, who made some plays in the past preseason game at pick 58 in the second round. Austin Barber in the third round. Parker Brailsford in the fifth round. So they addressing offensive line back-to-back. Justin Jefferson, who's been talked about in the fifth round. Joe Royer, a tight end in the fifth round. Taylor Green. Get your thoughts about him in the sixth, and then Carson Ryan, another tight end. So they went tight end, offensive line heavy, in which they should. So which it's so many choices. Which draft pick do you think stands out the most?
I got to pick one.
You can pick. You can pick 2, 3.
All right.
Hey.
Well, I'm gonna go pick. I'm gonna go to first through the second. Everybody in the first and second round. Everybody. Um, if I had to pick one that'll stand out, I do like Denzel Boston the most. I thought he was up there with the wide receivers that went in the first round, had first round potential. Still could have won the first round in my opinion. He reminds me a little bit of what's your guy out there in Denver, Cortland Sutton a little bit, big
Mm-hmm.
body type, I think 6'4", I think Cortland Sutton is. He reminded me of him. And then Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo. I thought for sure he was going in the first round from what he put on tape the last past 2 years at Toledo. But he fell to the second round for some obvious reason.
He's a
But
tall guy.
yeah, so man, all these guys, Fano Concepcion, they're going to come in and contribute right away. As we've seen this weekend, KC got in the end zone. He got in the end zone for the Browns, and he said in one of his press conferences he's proud of himself not being tackled by a cornerback. So that shows what kind of mentality he has as a wide receiver, and he can line him up in the slot. You can line him on the outside, so he has positional flexibility. So I'm excited, man. From final, KC, McNeil Warren, and Denzel Boston, that nucleus right there, along with last year's picks, Mason Graham, Fanning. You get a Jared Verse come in, Quinshawn, Dylan Sampson, man. I'm telling you, bro, if everything clicks and Monk can get this team to play, at their full potential, maybe not at the beginning of the season, but middle or halfway towards the end, they're going to be a tough out for any football team.
As we talked about in the beginning of the show about this being one of the most talented skill positions, from receivers to running backs. You can use KC Concepcion so many different ways, bro. So quick, fast, and even the misdirections, jet sweeps, you can use him in there as well too. I think he's probably in a conversation where he could be offensive rookie of the year.
Denzel Boston as well.
Denzel Boston as well. Uh, Going to New Beginnings. Jared Verse, 58 tackles, 7.5 sacks, 27 quarterback hits, and 11 TFLs. What does he bring coming over to Cleveland?
Some new energy, some life. A new level of excitement for the fan base. Yes, you had Miles Garrett for since 2017, 9, 10 years. But that was like a having Miles Garrett was like a Joe Thomas situation. It was, hey, you're gonna be a Hall of Fame player, but now, with the league nowadays, they want to get you somewhere where you can chance to win and they want to maximize on that compensation. So to get a young, pass rusher back in Jared Verse is gonna be excited. This is his defense now, his team. He leading the charge. As you can see, he had 27 quarterback hits and 11 tackles for loss. Just imagine if he turned that 27 QB hits to about 3 or 4 or 5 more sacks. So we're looking at 12 sacks for him, and he up there in all pro type of talking then. But yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting defense for sure, man. They don't have Jim Schwartz anymore. He left because he felt like he got passed over for
Hmm.
the offensive for the offensive not offensive but the head coach position. So he's not there anymore, so we can get a different type of style of defense. But I expect nothing less from Jared Verse. And the defense wasn't terrible. 53 sacks. Well, we know who 23 of them came from. Run defense, run defense, 4.2 yards per carry. Um, 22 points per game, 14 yards per game, fourth, third downs. So, but middle of the pack defense, but you're losing that big piece in that first battle of Hall of Famer Miles Garrett. So it's gonna probably be a step back as a totality. But I expect, Jared Verse and Mason Graham, those guys on that front line, to step up and make and be immediate dominant impacts for this defense.
They lose out on Devin Bush, who he led the league in interception yards with 164 and 2 interception touchdowns. He had 125. Your boy Carson Swessinger, 156, defensive rookie of the year. What did you think about him going into his second year?
Tackling machine, tackling machine. If he can just continue stacking those these seasons like this, getting better, getting stronger, boy, we can have this may be lofty praise, but we can have something in Luke Kuechly type realm, boy. And we all know how special linebacker Luke Kuechly was when he was in Carolina. So I'm excited for Carson Schwarzenegger in year two.
Denzel Ward got a bag this past offseason, about a month
I
ago.
feel about what a few weeks ago, man.
Yeah, making him the highest paid corner twice in his career. He had 9 PDs last year. Tyson Campbell led the team with 12, and we're not that removed from Tyson Campbell being a first round pick. He was a first round pick out of
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Yep.
Um, he played 12 games last year, but I feel like you already see what you got up front and in the middle, but then that back end with Ward on one side, Campbell on the other side. Let's see what we can make out of that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I like the. I actually like the Greg Newsom and Denzel Ward pairing. I don't know why. I think the money got in the way a little bit. I believe. I really don't know for sure, but they swapped Greg Newsom and Tyson Campbell out. So hopefully Tyson Campbell can make the most of his opportunities, in Cleveland.
and then along with those 53 sacks, of course we know who got 23. Malik Collins is 6.5. Alex Wright with 5.5. Uh, is there somebody on this? I don't know if you have the roster in front of you, but is there some uh, Mason Graham taken taken fifth overall? Was he fifth overall?
Yes, sir. He
He
sure
was fifth
was.
overall. He was fifth overall. What do you think Mason? What do you think Mason Graham can do in his second season? He had what is it? 2 sacks, 2.5 sacks, or something like that. Uh,
Continue. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, he had half a sack. Yeah, he had a half a sack. So I mean, what do you think Mason Graham going into his second season? What do you think he can bring?
Continue being a disruptor in the middle of that defense. I seen him as a freshman at Michigan. He won a national championship there. I think he was a freshman or a sophomore, and he was just the best player on defense. But and that team had Will Johnson and a couple other players that's playing in the league right now. And he was a baby at the time, and he's still growing in that position. I think him having a year with Miles Garrett to learn the NFL game how to get stronger, how to get better would benefit him. He's going to be the lead dog in that defensive line room. He's the guy now. Hopefully, he can have somebody tag along beside him to be the best version of himself he can be. I know Jared Verse, him coming over is going to help Mason Graham a whole lot, and Mason Graham going to help Jared Verse when he pushes the interior of the defensive line back. So Jared Verse can do his thing. So I'm excited for Mason Graham in year 2.
We're gonna go schedule, and in week 1, they start week 1 and week 2. They start on the road at the Jags, at the Buccaneers, and Panthers Steelers on Thursday night. That's their only primetime game. Only meaningful game. So that's what a 4-play schedule gets you. Then you go to the Jets, the Ravens, the Titans, the Steelers again, the Saints, the Texans, and then you hit your bye week before you facing the Raiders, and they'll probably get a win right there. Then you got the Bengals, the Falcons, the Giants, the Ravens, the Colts, and then the Bengals again. So with a favorable schedule, I would say
favorable.
If you look at those opponents, if you're looking at the Jets and you're looking at the Titans and the Saints, and now if the Saints don't have one of those pass catchers that they drafted this past in April, then he's going to be out for a lengthy amount of time. The Raiders, the Falcons. Look at that quarterback situation. You got the Giants. So, I mean, I think that they can stack some wins here as long as that defense is playing up to par, and then the offense can give you something, because that offense didn't give you anything.
How many wins you say?
On a consistent basis. I didn't name the.
Oh, I thought you named wins. I'm sorry.
No, I said they can stack some wins. I think they can stack some wins.
Where these? Because stacking, you mean winning back-to-back games, right? Is that what you mean, or do you just mean like, hey, these games they should win?
They should win.
So what do you see as they should win? And don't be disrespectful, please. Like,
well, okay. Let's start with week 2.
You might be disrespectful. I can feel
they
it.
can win. They can win that game in week 2. They can win that. They can win against the Panthers. Who knows what the Steelers are going to be like? How those division games are. The Jets, the Titans, the Saints, the Raiders, of course, the Falcons, the Giants, the Colts. I can see some wins going right there. What, you don't see wins coming out of that?
You see 6 wins, right?
The same amount of wins I gave the Cardinals. The same amount of wins I gave the Cardinals.
I see about 5 or 6. I can see them getting one of those 4 to begin the season. They got the Jets, Titans. I can see them getting the Steelers once. They're not beating the Raiders. Falcons. They can get the Bengals, probably one of them, potentially, and definitely the Colts. They can get them there. So I see about 4 or 5, 6, no more than 6, 7 max.
I can see them getting the win against the Jags too.
Yeah. Opening week 1, open the season up. I can definitely see them stealing and willing and dealing one.
So we got it there 6 or 7 wins from the Cleveland Browns. That's the final prediction that you're going with.
I say 6 max.
6 max.
But you get the Cardinals how many?
I gave them 6. They probably end up winning 2, but
stand on that.
Maybe I just give teams the benefit of that. Maybe I just give them too much benefit. It's their early part of the season.
Them preseason games from the 2 preseason games, the Cardinals got you all gassed up. They got you gassed up over there. It's cool though.
Well, I mean,
anything to hate, boy.
The Cardinals won't be without the top rusher now, with their top potential rusher.
High ankle sprain.
Using him up already.
How you
Uh,
give him 14 carries in the second preseason game? That is crazy.
man,
But this is a Brown show. Sorry, audience.
I think in that 30 minute, we at 30 minutes right now. I think we pretty much skimmed through the Cleveland Browns. Um,
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting to see what happens with the Browns far when it comes to draft picks next year. And I know we putting the cart before the horse and everything, but there's a chance that they can go out and if their franchise quarterback is not on the roster, they have plenty of opportunity to draft one next year and the year after that as well. So they're setting themselves up to drop a quarterback in this on this football team when the time is right. So I like the direction they're headed. Um, the GM, I can't think of his name right now, but he's doing a good job. Uh,
Barry, Andrew Barry.
Andrew Barrett, yeah, he's doing a good job. We thought he was on the hot seat for a little bit, but he's doing a good job right now. Getting what you can get back from Myles Garrett was outstanding. Knowing what he meant to the city of Cleveland and what he meant to that organization, I think that was outstanding on him. And keeping everything on the wraps, on the hush hush, negotiating with the Rams. Because we had know if this had got out to the media, it would have been, hey, I'm pretty sure he got calls anyway. About Myles Garrett, but he did what made sense for the Cleveland Browns organization right then and there. So once again, I think that was outstanding. And hey, man, he's one of the top bright GMs that we got in the league, and was nothing but success for him.
Who knows how long they've been having talks about Myles Garrett? What team has been inquiring about Myles Garrett?
Absolutely, because these conversations probably started happening at the combine back in February for sure.
Yeah. One last question: if Shador hits, do the Browns go in the quarterback direction with a heavy quarterback draft coming up? Do they go in the quarterback direction if Shador? I'm not going to say just so happen hits. Say if he improves and he looks like a competent quarterback, do you go with the quarterback route in 2027, or do you spend those picks on making your team better, surrounding him with talent?
Like you said, it all depends on how it looks. If he wins and he's moving a competent quarterback, he's moving the team around, then yeah. But if not, they might be back in the fold for another quarterback here in 2027.
Yeah, I'm pulling for Shador, man.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, get that watch right, man. But this is it for the Cleveland Browns. Where we trying to go next? We going east? We going south?
Let's get the East out the way, man. Let's start with the NFC East if we can, man. Because I know everybody predominantly that we're friends with and everything, and we know they're Cowboys, Commanders, Giants, Eagles fans. So let's go ahead and get the hate out our heart right now, so we can get inbox and tell us how bad we are. We don't know what we're talking about. It's so let's get out of the way, which I'm cool with. It is we know how the hate run deep over here for the NFC East between those four teams. So.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow to touch on the Eagles because they won the East. So we'll be back tomorrow for the Eagles. And until then, everybody have a great night.